Hey guys, Tyler Coon with Savvy STR Agents here. Just wanted to hop on real quick and show you guys something that I was exploring on AirDNA with some numbers, and they've got this new version out and everything. So bear with me here. I'm gonna demystify some things. I've had a couple questions from different clients about the same thing, so just figured I'd hop on and do this quick video so everybody can kind of understand what I'm talking about. Okay, let me get in here and share my screen. So if you guys haven't noticed, AirDNA has released a new, really basically a new platform. It's a lot of the same data, but it's presented in a new format. And so playing with this, I thought it would be interesting to go try to look for my area that we just bought our latest Airbnb in, our super property, and go try to find it. So I'm looking in Fletcher, North Carolina now, which is just south of Asheville, and that's where my Airbnb is at. There's really nothing to do in Fletcher. It's a real residential area. People come stay at my house to stay at my house and be close to Asheville because it's a pretty unique property. So but here's one thing I noticed. Check this out. Okay, so there's 16 properties in Fletcher that I have this filtered that are between 5 and 6+ bedrooms, right? That sleep more than 10 people. So have it filtered. There are 16 like that in Fletcher. Before today, I have not seen my property come up in these search results at all. It has not come up as a comparable until today. So this was really interesting for me. Let's take a look at it. Where does it come up? Okay, so here it is. If you've seen it so far, you know it's this one right here. Sleeps 20, Fire Pit Movie Theater, just launched in June. Average daily rate of $822. We booked out every weekend through February at $1,000 a night, and so now our goal is to kind of fill up some weekdays. You heard me right. We booked up every weekend all the way to February. So how is it possible that AirDNA is saying we have $14,800 in revenue? I don't know. Where are they getting that information from? Who knows at this point, right? It is a new comp, but this would make it appear as if this area on average is a lot worse than it is. And let me show you why. So I've got my reservations pulled up here. I'm on a Mac. It's in the Numbers app, and I pulled this directly from Hospitable, so it's not pretty, but bear with me for a second. Take a look at this. So we have this. Hold on, let me pull it up here. So we have this property and the reservations. Let's see. Open with Numbers. Okay. So take a look at this. I think I have to change where my screen is sharing so y'all can see this. And I'm an open book, right? I wanted everybody to see, um, this is like, this is what it is. Like, this is what the actual potential is. So, okay, I'm going to share my entire screen here and then we'll open up the Numbers app. Okay, so this is my download from Hospitable. It doesn't look real pretty because it's like all the information. And check this out. You want to see what the potential is of a super property. Let's go all the way to the end. Let's look at, these prices. So if you look at, let's see. Sharing the window might help. Okay, so take a look at this. If you look at these prices here, let's do a total of this column, total price, right? So we're going to look at what is the gross revenue. This is taking out cancellations. This was a cancellation. This is $6,000 booking we had for 6 nights, $1,000 a night. And total price ends up being zero because they ended up canceling. So I just totaled this column here. Let's take a look. $174,943.05. So that's what's actually on the books for the next 12 months. I have like half of next July already booked up. I don't think I have any bookings for next August or September yet. So let's look at the difference here. We have AirDNA, who says they've got probably the daily rate right. Occupancy is definitely not right, but they say that it's made $14,800 in revenue. Could that be any further from the truth, being that I have $175,000 on the books? That's really, really far from the truth, right? Even what I've been paid out so far, which is not even my total gross, just since we launched it in June, is $35,000. So even the $14,000 that AirDNA is saying, I've actually made more than that. And existing reservations that have already happened. So when you guys are looking, my whole point about this is not what a great host I am or what a great property I have, but that when you're looking at the data, that you understand that things are going to be skewed. New properties really skew the data. Look at this one: mountain cabin with waterfalls, hot tub, huge porch, has a 5-bedroom, it sleeps 15 people, it has 16 5-star reviews. This is probably a new property, but it's averaging into the Fletcher data as $15,000 in revenue as a listing. This one is showing 14,000. So let's say we mix these with all the other listings that are doing really well. You're going to really skew the averages down a significant amount. Right. So there's that, right? The data is always skewed. So when you go through and you look at comps, you want to look at existing stuff that's been there for a long time, that's showing real types of revenue, things that have, for instance, here, 156 reviews. You also want to be able to rely on somebody that can show you real data. This is a download from my hospitable account. How much more real does it get than the actual real bookings, including even cancels, right? Doesn't get more real than that. So here's the next thing that I wanted to talk about, because there is this thing out there that so many people use to identify properties, and it's called the enemy method. And the enemy method, for me, I always hated the negative connotation of that. I don't look at people as my enemies. I look at them as my friendly competition, right? So one, I don't even like the phrase, but two, let's take a look at what that means. Let's go find my property, for instance, so you guys can actually see, what does that mean? What does it mean to look through the enemy method? So we just saw on AirDNA that my average daily rate that I'm booking is 882. Right? You just saw that. And you can see in my spreadsheet here that if you look at uh, our nightly rates here, $1,000 a night, $32.92 for 3 nights, $7,200 for 4 nights. We're obviously getting around that $882 a night, right? I mean, you can see that in the numbers right here on my screen. Take a look at what Airbnb says. Mine is a super property. If you want to build a super property, you have to compare two super properties, right? Look at this, $459 a night on Airbnb. That's what it's saying. Why is that? Why would that be? So if you're using the enemy method and you're going in and you want to find super properties and compare with super properties and look at what the average daily rate of super properties is, this is not where you want to look, folks. This is not where you want to look at all. And why is that? Why is this method so flawed? Well, consider what's happening. I am booked out for every weekend through, what did I say? February, right? Take a look. Yes, every weekend through February. Already looking at some bookings in March. So what is AirDNA actually, what is Airbnb actually showing here, this $459 a night? They're showing my average daily rate over the next available nights. And so if you're looking at this today, what does that mean? That means it's averaging in, let's see, do I have somebody checked in today? September 13th. Nobody checked in today. I have a 1-night booking available for $339, right? And that's my revenue manager who's going in there and really drastically reducing the price so that we can try to get a 1-night booking or a 2-night booking, right? Just trying to add as much revenue as we possibly can. But Airbnb is seeing this and it's averaging this in, and it's showing you this, and it's showing you what does next week look like? My only other dates, $295 a night. So you saw that my weekend for the rest of that week is booked at $1,000 a night. Now I'm trying to get the last couple of days booked, and that's next week. So this is the very lowest price you're ever going to see for my property. So what you're looking at is the lowest average price you are ever going to see for my property. And that's what you're looking at on Airbnb. And that's what you're making your investment decisions off of, is the lowest possible ADR ever. Is that comparable? It defies the word of the definition, right? It's not comparable at all. What you want to compare it to is the 882, but Airbnb is never ever going to show you that number, because the second that $1,000 a night booking books, they average the price down because they want to incentivize people to click on the listing and go book these dates that aren't booked, because that's the only revenue Airbnb can get left, right? So why is the enemy method totally flawed and an absolutely terrible way to analyze properties? Well, I've shown it to you here. So please share this video with everyone you possibly can. I'm so tired of hearing, oh, well, we looked and the ADR on Airbnb. Consider what you're actually looking at, right? Always consider the source, consider where the data is coming from, how it could possibly be skewed, and then go and find the real comparable properties. Talk to people that are boots on the ground, that know what they're talking about, that don't mind opening their books like I just did for you. And let's work together. Let's find a super property in Western North Carolina.